What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman III, and thank you for tuning in to the You Guessed It, Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over the social sphere at GBP Daily. Shoot me a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Hit me up in the DMs. I am always available to talk Packers anytime, any day. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, and Today's a great day because the Packers had their first training camp practice at Raynitzky Field. Packers football is officially underway for 2025. It's insane to even say that out loud. Tons of exciting things to get into. Matthew Golden making some plays. Of course, the Packers' first-round draft pick out there balling out today. Day one, he started the day off with the twos for a little while, then made his way over to the ones. So you love to see that. Xavier McKinney with, of course, an interception. I expect nothing less. And Nate Hobbs, a guy who I think is kind of went under the radar, making some plays out there, making some pass breakups, definitely looking the part. And the most exciting thing for me, Brandon McManus, going perfect on the day, with makes from 38, 38, 41, 43, and 46. And man, what an absolute difference that a year makes. When you compare it to last year, all I can remember during training camp last year was the kicking battle. It was something that we were all watching during training camp. We had no idea who our kicker was going to be. And thankfully, that is not the case this year. That was one of the my least favorite things about training camp last year was the kicker battle, and it flopped. We had Greg Joseph, Carlson battling it out, and then got rid of them both, brought in Braden Narvison, and he lasted, 3-4 games. And thankfully, Brandon McManus was available. We signed him, and made a couple game-winning field goals last year, and I think he was 21 for 23 overall on the year last year. So excited for that. We got the kicker spot locked down. Guys who did not practice today: Quay Walker with an ankle, Christian Watson with the knee, of course. However, Brian Gutekunst did say he was looking great and that he is a freak of nature as far as his rehab goes. So that is good to hear. Micah Robinson originally was not going to practice with a knee injury. However, he actually did get cleared and made his way out to the practice field with the guys. So you like to see that. Colin Oliver did not practice with a hamstring. Amar Johnson with a hamstring. John Williams with a back, and Elton Jenkins as well with a back injury. And we all know the Elton Jenkins situation. Is it an actual back injury? We don't know. Is he wanting some more guaranteed money, a little restructured contract, an extension type deal? I think so. So I think that, at least from what I'm reading into it, is a little bit of a hold in, but I think they should get that taken care of. We need him and Jordan to be on the same page, obviously with him moving to center with the signing of Aaron Banks this offseason. So the sooner the better as far as resolving the Elton Jenkins situation. So some interesting names on there to keep an eye on as camp rolls on. Today was just a blast. I was not there in person like I will be this weekend and next week, but just being able to follow along on the timeline of everything going on at camp. We have so many good beat reporters, content creators on the ground, boots on the ground type of coverage, posting out updates every second of training camp practices, which is just great for those of us who aren't able to make it. But thankfully I will be in town this weekend and next week for training camp. I could not be more excited. No more pointless off-season conversations, no more speculating on things that we haven't necessarily seen. We actually have Packers football to talk about, and the best time of the year is in full swing. Let's dive into the comment section here, shall we, and get some questions rolling. My man Rakeem in the house. Good to see you, Rob. Best Packers page on the net. You the man, Rakeem. What player are you most excited to see this season? Outside of the obvious ones, Rakeem, I think it's Marshawn Lloyd. I talked about him yesterday quite a bit. He's got to stay healthy, of course. That was his kryptonite last year. But watching some of his tape back at USC, this guy is electric. He did have some issues holding on to the ball a little bit, had some issues in pass pro. But if he can stay healthy and improve on those things just a little bit, we'll see a little bit different action from the running back room than we're used to. You know, Josh Jacobs is a bruiser. He'll make you miss for sure, but he doesn't have the breakaway speed like Marshawn Lloyd does. Same goes with Emmanuel Wilson, very smooth runner. But Marshawn Lloyd, I think, is the guy that I'm most excited to watch this year. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's what I'm hoping for. So thank you, Rakeem. Appreciate you hopping on, my man. Good to see you. Jonah, thanks for hopping on. Thoughts on Bo? Yes, Bo Melton made the switch to cornerback. I think it's interesting. That's for sure. How could I forget Bo Melton? That was the biggest storyline at the start of practice, at least. He has also switched his number to 16 as opposed to his 80 that he's been wearing the past few seasons. I don't think, honestly, this is a desperation move. I think he's got a legitimate shot to make the team as a corner. We know that the corner room is probably the room with the least depth, and if needed, he could be your emergency wide receiver, and he's great on special teams, and I think that's the key with him. I think that's why the Packers like him so much. Special teams he's been great at the past few years, part of the reason he made the team last year. And, yeah, hopefully he can figure it out, the corner spot during camp, and make the team. The Packers like him as a special teams player. They like him as a guy in the locker room. They've said that quite a bit. So I'm rooting for him. I'm definitely rooting for Bo. Thank you, Jonah. Appreciate you hopping on. Kichi, hello, how you doing? Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go, my man. Good seeing you. How are they looking? They're looking great. Day one, and I can already tell you it's Super Bowl year, baby. What else we got here? Lakin is in the house. How's Tuck looking out there? Tucker Kraft actually caught the first two passes from Jordan today, and hopefully that's a sign of more things to come. You know, I think he could have an absolute massive year this year. And with all of the options at wide receiver, I think Jordan will become most comfortable and make his go-to guy be Tucker Kraft. We all saw his monster year last year, big breakout year. And, yeah, he's healthy. You got to remember last year he missed most of the offseason and training camp with a torn pec. So he's healthy. He's full steam ahead. And he's going to be building off of last year. And, yeah, I'm excited to see what we get from him this season. So, but by the wide receiver room being so crowded, it's a good thing for sure. But I feel like there's so many guys out there that so many mouths to feed for Jordan. I think he'll find comfort in Tucker always being out there, no matter who's out there at receiver. So that's kind of my thought process behind him being that go-to guy this year. So if you're a fantasy football player, I personally will probably be going for Tucker just because I think he's going to have a big year. So appreciate you, Lakin. Have yourself a great Wednesday. Yosef, is Quay holding in? Yosef, Quay Walker, as we all know, who is looking to get an extension after the Packers did not pick up his fifth-year option. And per Brian Gutekunst actually has an ankle injury. So it sounds like he had a cleanup surgery this offseason, and Goody did say they hope to have him around for the fourth week or two. We will see Quay Walker back out there. And, yeah, so it's not a phantom injury or anything like that, but an actual ankle injury. So a little cleanup surgery from an injury he had last season. He had the cleanup injury this offseason. So, yeah, I would guess he'll be back in the next week or two and hopefully have an extension before the season starts. I like Quay Walker. I always have. He's had some tough plays, tough play here and there, but I like him out there, especially being next to Edgerrin Cooper. That duo playing off of each other I think it's going to be fun to watch this year. So thank you, Coach Yosef, for hopping in. Have yourself a great Wednesday. My man, J Love era, how do you feel about Isaiah Simmons? To be honest, I have not looked a ton into Isaiah Simmons outside of today, following along with the updates. He was out there with Quay obviously being gone, him and McDuffie and Edgerrin. So I honestly think we're probably mostly going to see him on special teams, which is great. He's a good special teams player, and we need guys on special teams. We all know how that works. And yeah, and if injuries happen in the linebacker room, I would have no problem throwing him in there. First round pick back in 2020 for the Cardinals. And yeah, we've seen Goody make these kind of signings these last few years, right? Rasul Douglas, Devondre Campbell. He's been pretty good about finding diamonds in the rough. And yeah, Isaiah Simmons could definitely be that guy. But like I said earlier, I think we'll mostly probably see him on special teams, which is just fine. So appreciate you, my man. Have yourself a great Wednesday. What else we got? Haley, main thing that stood out to you from today? Right off the bat, obviously, it was the Bo Melton making the switch to corner. After sitting on it for a few minutes, it just isn't that big of a surprise, at least in my opinion. The wide receiver room is so stacked that, his odds of making it as a wide receiver were pretty much slim to none, especially after taking Savion and Matthew in the first couple rounds in the draft. So, yeah, the Packers like him on special teams. They like him as a guy in the locker room. And, yeah, they wanted to see if this will work. And maybe, he'll make the squad as a corner. Like I said earlier, I'm rooting for him for sure, mainly because, yeah, he's one of our best special teams players. And we know better than anybody that special teams can decide games. Besides Bo Melton, I think it's Nate Hobbs. He had a great first day of camp. And take all this with a grain of salt because there's no pads. They're doing obviously no hitting, no pads. You can really only take so much from it, but you could also have bad days, and he didn't have that. So Nate Hobbs had a great first day at camp, made a great play, breaking up a pass intended for Josh Jacobs. That was actually a really good throw from Jordan. So I just think overall that the Nate Hobbs signing kind of went under the radar, and yeah, he's going to have a big role on our defense this year. So I'm excited to see what Nate Hobbs can bring this season. Last one here, Jensen. What do you expect out of LVN this year? Jensen, it's got to be a big year for him. Past couple of years have not been very good. We saw his snaps dwindle, and guys like Kingsley Enagbare play ahead of him last year. And what was he, a 14th overall pick? He's gotta show something this year. Otherwise, those bust talks are going to come to life. So gotta have a big year this year. That is for sure. All right, guys, that is going to do it for me today. As always, appreciate you tapping in. Love me some Packers football talk. I'll be back and at it again tomorrow, and I'm already excited to keep the training camp talk going. Get a chat with you guys about that every single day, about what's going down at Radnitsky Field. So have yourself a great Wednesday, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you.